Perhaps the MCU's biggest year is ahead of us, just months away from its first release, Captain Marvel. But fans are rabidly trying to figure out what's happening next with Marvel. And I thought it might be an interesting time to take a look and realize just how much things have changed for Marvel. Not meaning as a studio or with the film specifically, but as far as how they approach the hype and promotion of their films. We're all very familiar with and kind of love all the phase announcements. And recently, Kevin Feige, Marvel Studios head, had said, that the phase thing is kind of being phased out, I guess you might say. Which was fine, but it just led me to believe that the idea of calling it a phase is not going to be used anymore. I didn't realize until just this last week or so how much that symbolizes a change in approach for them. So they had their first phase announcement, which was for Phase 2, way back after their first couple of films, after Iron Man and The Incredible Hulk. They were both hits. Kevin Feige always said that his goal in the beginning was just to make a successful movie so that they could make another, and then another, and just keep making them. And now we're 20-plus movies in. But after those first two hits, they were allowed to start to not only have to live just for the next movie, they were able to plan farther down the road, hence Phase 2. And then, of course, the Phase 3 announcement at the El Capitan Theater just threw everybody into ecstasy when the Avengers Infinity War two-part movie was announced. So, yes, the phase announcements have fallen by the wayside. We all get that. But it's interesting to note that along with the phase announcements, it wasn't just the fact that they were calling them a phase and lumping groups of films, for some thematic or chronological element. It was really much more of a PR thing. The anticipation would start to build and keep building for, multiple years as they were announcing multiple films at a time, in expectation of, 2 years, 3 years down the road, etc. So they've dispensed with that. But if you look, they didn't only just dispense with calling it the phase. It's the whole approach. They really have switched from more of a hype machine to more of a top secret approach. Just think about this a little bit. As this video is recorded, it's the beginning of 2019, early January 2019. The next Marvel movie, we've got 3 coming out in 2019, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man Far From Home, and of course Avengers Endgame. But after that, it's a bit of a mystery. All we know is rumored things that they've been talking about, like the sequels, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Black Panther 2, Doctor Strange 2. But we haven't gotten an official green light on those. We haven't gotten word that scripts have been completed. Specifically with Black Panther 2, it sounds like Ryan Coogler has not completed his script yet. So, or at least it's not on final draft level yet. So that doesn't appear to be necessarily one of the immediate releases coming up for them that they haven't announced yet. But also there's the Scarlett Johansson Black Widow spin-off movie. All of these are possible, and several of them very likely, even though Galaxy has been taken off the schedule for the moment, apparently. And there's only been 2 additional new movie properties that have been even discussed, and none of them have been officially greenlit. The 2 are the Eternals movie and again, the Black Widow spin-off movie. That obviously seems to be farther along a little bit than Doctor Strange 2 or Black Panther 2, for example. So if we zoom back out, we take a look and we see that the next unknown Marvel movie coming in 2020 comes out in May of 2020. Right now it's January of 2019. So we're about 15, 16 months away from the next unknown Marvel movie, and we haven't heard anything about it yet. That is such a shockingly departure from the previous approach of the phase announcements. So I just thought it was fascinating that it's not just the calling them phases that is gone. It's their whole approach. They've definitely locked down to a much more secretive approach, approaching each movie announcement by itself and kind of waiting to the last moment. If you think that it takes about 2 years to produce a movie, Marvel's actually been able to shorten that a little bit. If we're not counting script development time, they've been able to turn around movies, in less than a year from completion of principal photography, which principal photography usually only takes a few months. So if you add in pre-production, you're still talking, far less than 2 years. So their movie for May 2020 has to be either already in production or just about to be into production. So that's amazing that they have not announced anything about it, anything formally yet. As far as Eternals, there hasn't been any casting. With Black Widow, that actually makes me think maybe Black Widow could be that first film of 2020 because the casting is already precast, at least for the lead role, and it's a lot easier to keep the supporting roles and the villains under your hat longer. Doesn't mean that it's going to be Black Widow, but I just found it fascinating that we are only about 14, 15 months away from the next new Marvel movie that we don't know anything about, and we still don't know anything about it. So, I don't know. You tell me what you think, folks. Do you like Marvel's new approach? Are you sad to see the phase announcements go by the wayside? I kind of am. I kind of love that stuff, but also it's killing me not knowing what's coming up for 2020 and 2021. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I just thought that it was a very shocking and demonstrable change of approach that they've had, and everybody seems to, or at least a lot of the people that I've seen cover this, have just kind of focused on the fact that they're not calling them phases anymore, but it seems to be a much more substantive change. So again, let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you here next time on Hero Journalism.